Hello everybody and welcome back to Super Luigi Galaxy 2! So, last time we got our next set of green stars at Spin Dig, Right Side Down, and Fluffy Bluff Galaxies. And now we're gonna finish things off with getting the green stars in World 1 by getting the green stars at Bowser Jr.'s Fiery Flotilla. Now, these two green stars in this one can actually be very missed. Yeah, you can potentially miss them if you don't look hard enough. Yeah, and especially if you saw up there where that full 1-up is. Yeah, since Mario never exactly went up there before. Yeah, we may as well see what exactly is up there. What exactly is up there ourselves? Now once again we hop on this flop here so we get ourselves enough height so that we can actually get ourselves up here. Shit. I did not mean to hep up myself onto that wall. Damn it. Well, that certainly is a great start. A fantastic start for Luigi. That is a fantastic start for Luigi today. Yeah, already died. Oh god, whoa. And I almost fell off there too. Okay, this time let's make sure we can actually do this right. There we go. Yeah, now you launch up from there. Now you can actually do a launch jump all the way to where the checkpoint is without even having to go to that Solar Lane Star at all. Yeah, and as you can see as well, yep, they actually want you to go this way because the first green star is actually on top here. Yeah, and as you saw with those star bits right next to that green star too. Yeah, it's like the developers actually wanted you to go there anyway. Yeah, just to prove that you really are a really good platformer. But it's something that you really don't have to bother doing. Well, unless if you actually don't want to bother going after the green stars. Unless you want to bother going after the don't want to bother going after the green stars. To begin with, anyway. But anyways. Now for the second one, it is actually, I believe it is right next to where the launch star is, yeah, I believe it is right next to where the launch star is, where Mario fought against, where Mario first faced off against, Gobblegut. And again, just like that first one for this place, you really have to look very hard. Well, more so actually hear it. Since, again, this is something that you probably cannot see where it is. Yeah, you actually have to hear very clearly. Oh god! Oh god, Luigi did not mean to fall there. Oh god, no, Luigi! No. Oh god. Today, Luigi cannot just platform today. But anyways. Now, you can probably hear it as you probably get to hear. That's because this green star is actually on the very top of the lava here. Yeah, they actually want you to launch jump all the way to that without getting yourself burned alive. Yeah, as that other guy said. These green stars tend to be very, very difficult to get. Yeah. But anyways, with that said, yeah, and now with those city green stars done, we are officially done with World 1. Which means we are never coming back there ever again. Alright. And now for Plus Plane Galaxy. Now, the first one is actually much closer to the start than you think. And then as for the other two, it can be a little bit of a difficult ones too. But as you saw in there with just one of them right there, yeah. Yeah, thanks to that, we already know where one of them is. But that's not the one that we're going to be going to first. We're actually going to go towards the one that is actually all the way up here. Yeah, like I said, this first one is actually much more closer to it than you would think. But we have to get up there without actually hitting that block. Because otherwise it will disappear and you will not, you will not be able to get it. So it can be a little bit tricky to get. Yeah, considering that you obviously do not want to actually hit it, since you obviously do not want to actually hit that block. Yeah, you actually want to go to the side of it. So that you can actually, you know, try your best to either backflip to it, or so you can actually wall jump from that block. So that you can actually wall jump from that block, so you can get, so that you can get yourself to the top. But yeah, but anyways, now as for the other two, yeah, it can be a little bit of a while to get. Yes, yeah, and considering that we have to go to almost to the way of where we actually go to that mini boss, for when we actually get to that mini boss fight again. Oh yeah, considering that I am Luigi, I can actually just a double jump or even just backflip to it without even having to ground pound. Yep, see? Yep, do not even need to bother with a ground pounding from the other side at all. But anyways, now for the second one, now for the second green star, yeah, I messed up already. Yeah, you actually have to wall jump from that plank before it goes down. But considering that the green star is so far, considering that the green star is so high up, yeah, you actually, ow. And that is another fuck up right there, so bye-bye. But anyways, as I was saying, you actually have to, now considering that the green star is so high up, you actually have to perform a triple jump and then a wall jump from that plank before it goes down. Yeah, making this one keep a little bit of a tricky one to get. Which makes you, and if you just happen to fail that, you're gonna have to fall down to that black hole like I've constantly been doing so far. Okay, triple jump, and booyah, there we go. Done and done. Yep, that's how it's done. Oh yeah, you probably saw in the background. Yeah, as we got that green star, we could already see where that third one is. Yeah, the next two in this galaxy are actually more closer to each other than you would think they would be. And the third one came a little bit of a, well, it's not exactly a tricky one where you have to do like platforming. It's just that you have to make sure that you don't fall off, so that as you are trying your best to, yeah, you essentially have to make sure that you don't mess up, that you don't actually miss it as you're trying to fall, like in order for you to be able to get it. Yeah, it's one of those, it is essentially one of those, do or die situations, essentially. And that is essentially the main portion of that one. But anyways, let's go for it again. Waha! Yeah, that right there is what I am talking about. Luigi does not need to bother with ground pounding from the other side. Not ever. But anyways, Now we actually have to fall from the plank, that's gonna be chopped up. That is actually going down. That's gonna be cut and gonna be falling, and we have to make sure that we can actually get to it without actually missing it. Yeah, because otherwise that's also gonna cost you a bunch of lives. But unlike that second one, it isn't exactly a tricky one where you have to do some very quick platforming skills for it. It's just a matter of making sure that you don't miss it. Yeah. But anyways, now with that is puzzle plank done. Alright, now since I'm pretty sure Mario unlocked Hightail Falls first before going into Boulder Balls, so we're gonna go over here first. Okay, now for the first one, it's actually a lot more simpler to get than you would think. Considering, well, if you recall, when Mario actually went through this, when he actually went for this galaxy, for the very first time, yeah, he actually went all the way. Yeah, he actually went all the way up to the very high top. Yeah, where we actually saw that. Yeah, where we actually saw that. That elderly elderly penguin with a one-up-in. Yeah, the first green star is actually right there. Yeah. So if you have already done that before, like Mario did during this playthrough, then honestly going through this again really shouldn't take you too much trouble. Although considering that I'm now Luigi, and considering that Luigi does have some slipperiness to him, even while riding Yoshi, yeah, this may be a little bit more tougher to get than you may think. Yeah, but mostly because Luigi's not exactly the best with riding on walls. Definitely not. But anyway, see? Yeah, what did I tell you? Yeah, like I said, getting this first one, if you have already been here, if you've already been up here before, then this one is pretty easy. Then that one is pretty darn easy to get. Alright. And with that said, that is Green Star 142. And now with the other two in Hightail Falls, they can be a little bit tricky to get to. Now those ones can be a little bit tricky to get to. Yeah, it can be a little bit tedious if you don't know how to actually get to both of them. Yeah, but you'll see for when we actually get there. Okay, everyone. Now we have reached the area where we're going to be getting Green Star number 2. And it's actually, you actually have to go on top of this while making sure that we don't miss it. Frick! No! Get off! Okay, Luigi survived, but Yoshi does not. Okay, you know what? I'll take that. Since Yoshi automatically comes back after he falls down, after he takes a bit fall anyway. But anyways, yeah, the second one can be a little bit tough to get, since you actually have to go towards the side here. But make sure you don't fall off like a bitch! Oh god! Whoa! Yeah, Yoshi, why don't you stay put there while I get it? Yeah, honestly, I'm surprised that Yoshi did not fall off there. Yeah, even though it really looked like I was going to. Man, I'm actually surprised that Yoshi did not fall off. Oh, man. Alright, that's actually a little bit... It's honestly... Yeah, I know it's not that funny, but come on. It was something that you probably did not expect, right? Yeah, it's something you probably did not expect, right? But anyways, now for Green Star number 3, it's actually right close to where the original Power Star is in this galaxy. So once again it will take us a while to get back there. It is now time to speed up as much as we possibly can. Woohoo! Bump. Okay, everybody. Now the last green star for this galaxy should be right past there. Yeah, as you slightly saw there. Yeah, now if we want to get this, I believe we actually have to hop off Yoshi as we try our best to actually get that green star. Oh hey, look at that! Yeah, I actually landed on Yoshi. Damn, that is some quick maneuvers. Oh god. Okay, now hop off. Come on, come on. Crap. Oh my god, I almost landed on him again. Oh man. Okay, now let's go for it again. Now, whoop, and hop off. There we go. Great start number 3. Alright. And with that said, that is Hightail Falls, good and donezo. Alright, go Luigi and Yoshi. Well, it was mostly Yoshi who did the majority of work, but whatever. But anyways, 144. Yeah, we are now. Yeah, you know what? I feel like I've got just enough time to get some green stars in, to get the green stars in just one more galaxy. Yeah, why the hell not at this point? Alright, now for Boulder Ball. Now, the first one came a little bit of a dick move. Now, for those of you who have played another Mario game called Super Mario 3D World, may recall if you wanted to get a certain collectible in one of the Bowser castles, they expected you to get a power-up that you cannot get within that level, but they expect you to use the cap power-up as you climb up a bridge before you actually make it go down. Well, it essentially works sort of similar to what you're seeing here, but instead we do not need any sort of power-up in order for us to be able to get to it. Yeah, we simply just had to wall jump from the bridge, and not actually knock it down with the rock power-up. So yeah, for that one, essentially make sure that you skip out on getting the rock mushroom, so that you can easily do your wall jump and spin towards that bridge. So then you can actually just get to it. But anyways, yeah, and I guess I should just say this as well. These green stars in Boulder, the green stars in Boulder Ball are actually all closer together than you would think they are. For these first 2 areas that we actually go to in this galaxy. Yeah, all 3 green stars are all right here. Yeah, and as you'll see, now instead of going towards that ramp with the rock power-up, go as slow as you can, and there it is. Yeah, we actually had to be sure that we do not use the boulder so that we can sling ourselves across. Yeah, we actually have to go as slow as possible without spinning whatsoever. Yeah, that one can be a little bit tough to get, especially if you don't utilize your wall jump there. Yeah, that one can be a little bit of a tricky one to get, but whatever. But as long as you know what you're doing, you should be okay with that. Alright, now for green star number 3. Like I said, it's essentially on that next area after launching ourselves with the rock power-up. Yeah, this is actually one of the few galaxies where all of the green stars are really not that far off. Are really not that far off from not only the beginning of the galaxy, but also all of them are not really that not all of them are that far apart from each other. Yeah, this is actually one of the few galaxies and then you actually do that. But anyways, the third one is also another jump off. Yeah, we also have to jump off of this ledge here so that we can also get the third one too. Yeah, we once again have another one where we actually have to jump off and make sure that we don't miss. Yeah, they really love making you do that when it comes to these green stars. But anyways, and with that it is Boulder Ball done. Oh, that was odd. I don't know why he said that with my nunchuck, but whatever. But anyways, everyone, I think with that said, that's all that we're gonna do for this part. And we should continue on with the next one. And so to the next one, I'll see you guys next time.